All right, in the last couple of minutes, American Express shares started spiking. You can see this move on the intraday chart. That is very explicitly a point that happened after Charlie Gasparino tweeted, #breaking news, American Express insiders say CEO Ken Chenault on thin ice, sparking possible sales speculation. Fox Business senior correspondent Charlie Gasparino, right here now.
Let's divide the speculation from what we know is happening inside American Express. Ken Chenault clearly is on very thin ice with the board.
Why?
I'm hearing that from multiple sources inside the company. Why is that? Just look at the performance. They think he's made some really lousy move, and now they're in a world of hurt. We should point out that stock has not been performing well lately. Hasn't been performing well for the last couple of years, as a matter of fact. Today it performed a little better. Why is that? Because in addition to saying that Ken Chenault is on thin ice, and we should point out Ken is 64 years old. They may just let him retire in a year, but or whatever, but he's clearly going. The question is, what do they do after that? And what we hear, and now this is where it's banker talk. The speculation is that they get sold, and one of the names,
American Express,
to somebody bigger. Now, one of the names that is bouncing around among bankers is Wells Fargo. Why is that? Well, Wells Fargo wants to create a bigger credit card division. Now, on a conference call recently, Wells Fargo's CEO John Stump went out there. I believe he said that we'd like to do this organically or something along those ways. But when you have like a brand name like American Express, it's not outside the realm that they go in and buy it. But clearly, there's two things going on. It's Chenault being on thin ice. Does he survive? He just announced a major cost cutting, which the street hated. I mean, the stock, usually when you announce all these restructuring and cost cutting, stock goes up. It apparently went down on this. So a lot of people say, well, we hear inside the company, the board has had it with him. They want to change. The question is when? Do they allow him to stay the year? And then it becomes a sort of more existential question about Amex that a lot of people are talking about. Do they survive as an independent company? And the betting is they don't, that at some point someone's going to come in and buy them. Now, here's the sort of fly in the ointment here on a purchase by Wells. I mean, what will regulators say? Regulators have kind of a problem with these banks getting bigger. You have to hold a lot of capital. One of the sort of, and I've been talking to bankers about this, one of the sort of positives about buying an American Express is that it's more of a credit card company. And what the regulators like is they don't want you building out your trading desk, so to speak, where you could take risk and stuff like that. They like the stable earnings that credit cards and wealth management gives you.
And by the
way,
they may allow
this.
I was just looking at the market caps. Yeah. Wells Fargo, 254 or so billion, right. And then American Express, 57 billion. They could easily swallow it.
They could do it. They could do the deal. The question is, will regulators want them? And it may not be Wells Fargo. Clearly, there's two things going on. And that's why the stock is spiking. It doesn't spike on this. Ken Chenault's days are numbered there. There's no doubt. Company insiders are telling me.
He's run it beautifully for many years.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. Lately, he's made a lot of bad moves. There's a string of bad moves. And by the way, we should tell people, look at foxbusiness.com in a few minutes. We're going to have a story that outlines some of his bad moves. He's had a lot of missteps.
What's his worst?
Chickens are just deals that fell through and no growth. I mean, that's a problem. Apparently, the black card isn't doing so well. We lay it all out without getting too detailed. I don't want to waste too much time. So there's the question about Chenault, clearly from inside the company, and the company's not denying this. We've asked him. His days are numbered. He's 64 years old, so maybe they'll just let him retire. The second question is the existential question of do they remain independent? And the thinking is they don't. Okay, bankers are saying they don't. If the regulators allow it, they'll be bought. And one of the names that are out there right now is Wells Fargo. Whether that happens or not, can't tell you. I can just tell you what I know.
Well, at the moment, we know that the stock is jumping about 1.5%, and you can see that it is on your news because the stock was just basically moving like this. Then you see the big spike intraday. And 7 million shares moving right now.
This is one of the untold stories in the market right now because we've been so focused on politics.
Oh, now Wells Fargo volume 12 million. Sorry.
All right, so that's interesting. The stock is going down. Anyway, it's a big story.
Okay, Charlie, thank you for breaking it right here.